Hello and welcome or welcome back to Read Becca for a quick book review of a book I recently read and loved. This was a 2022 release that was kind of on my radar, something that sounded like it would be exactly my sort of thing, though it was a debut, so who knows how that would go. And I adored this book. And that book is Mountain in the Sea by Ray Nayler. So purely as a physical object, this thing is really gorgeous. So it's got a stunning cover and jacket design. This is not sprayed edges. These are printed on, so very cool printed edges. The naked hardback is actually really lovely as well. We've got the same kind of printout on the naked hardback also. So just a really lovely object, but the contents are also truly awesome. The book is such a tour de force of wonder of science and technology and linguistics. It is set in a near future that's so tangible to where we're at. It's like one step away. It has the elements of corporate power run amok, climate and environmental challenges, AI that is becoming an ever increasing aspect of day-to-day life and control over our lives. It's really interesting how that plays out. We also follow three perspectives here. The primary one, definitely leading perspective, is a marine biologist who's specialized in cephalopod intelligences, Han Wen. We additionally have two kind of secondary perspectives, one who is a slave on board an AI fishing ship, and the other is a hacker who kind of specializes in unusual sorts of networks, we'll say. So I thought those perspectives really fleshed out the world because they're obviously very different people in very different places. In our primary perspective, Han Wen is this marine biologist. She's written some books, and so as epigraphs we get her books, quotes from her books at the headers of chapters. We also get some other epigraphs from a character named Akatla Minervu Daughter Chan, who runs this major company that is working on artificial intelligences. And so we get epigraphs from her as well. So she runs the company that has hired Han Wen to go to a remote island that is being protected as a reserve for marine life because fishing has really dredged so much of the marine life that it has wiped it out, basically. So they're trying to preserve this, and she has brought Han Wen there to study what they can find in this place. So this island is very uninhabited, except for a security officer who is a drone pilot, effectively. It's kind of a weird situation. It's very cool. This drone pilot is operating many drones all at the same time, and so it has kind of a unique rig. And so that character is really intriguing and unique and bombastic. Definitely very, very military. The other character is also a weird character in that they are an android. So this is someone that was created by the company and has kind of been moved there in isolation because of the social climate surrounding AIs. And so this is kind of the first sapient android. So very intriguing set of characters to put together, really. The island is otherwise uninhabited because they're really trying to just protect it from overfishing and poachers, because it's kind of constantly under threat in the world that this is set in. And the world building is very interesting. It feels, as I said, so tangible and viable. I feel certain that the author is incredibly well versed on both the science and the technologies that they're writing about here. From a prose standpoint, the writing it values brevity over like lyricality for sure. And I found that it's highly readable for me. So this was almost 500 pages, and I just consumed it because it's so easy to turn pages and keep going because the sentences are short and to the point and a bit abrupt, I think. I will read a little section so you can get a flavor of that, just the first page of the book. Night, District 3 of the Ho Chi Minh Autonomous Trade Zone. The plastic awning of the cafe streamed with rain. Under its shelter, wreathed in kitchen steam and human chatter, waiters wove between tables with steaming bowls of soup, glasses of iced coffee, and bottles of beer. Beyond the wall of rain, electric motorbikes swept past like luminescent fish. Better not think of fish. Lawrence concentrated his attention instead on the woman across the table, wiping her chopsticks with a wedge of lime. The color swarm of the Ab-Gland's identity shield masking her face shifted and wavered, like something underwater. Lawrence dug his nails into his palm. I'm sorry, does that thing have another setting? The woman made an adjustment. The Ab-Gland settled into a bland construct of a female face. Lawrence could make out the faint outline of her real face, drifting below the surface. Drifting. I did sort of notice, as a result of this writing style, that the characters, even though they are very distinct as characters, they all kind of have the same speech pattern. So that might be a mark against this. It didn't really bother me because they are so different as people, but yeah, they all kind of talk and think the same way even. So that's something, this is a debut novel. I would hope in future novels maybe we get some different stylistic tone to the writing of characters. So the story is really speculating over the fact that octopuses are very solitary creatures who have short lives. So it's thinking about what conditions would have to exist and possibilities could exist in the world for a very rather intelligent species of octopus. We know they use tools, that sort of thing, who are sentient, who are self-reflective and learning. Could they advance to form language, and what would that look like? Not aliens, but first contact with intelligences here on Earth. Do we care to understand them? And I really enjoyed the topic of exploring that, the ideas behind it, and the linguistic elements were really my catnip. It reminded me a lot of Arrival, where it is this slow, laborious process of thinking about, is this actually language? Could this be language? Even to get to the point of understanding whether there is language there is such a long, drawn-out process. So I really, really enjoyed that. This was a great one to give a try. If you did like Arrival, I definitely think you would like this one. I love that this is enthusiastically grappling with the possibilities of this sort of scenario in a way that also tackles the threats and the fragility of something like this, of new discovery in science. And we're in this tiny microcosm of a little island that's isolated. What happens if the wider world and the scientific community become engaged in this, and the muddled different priorities that people or corporations might have in a scenario like this? So I think that is such a great way of tackling this topic that's very built in reality. For me, this is proper scientific science fiction. It's grounded in the science, and this is a great one if you're a nonfiction reader. I think it's slow and plodding in some ways, but it's very engaging because it feels so real. We're talking about immersing the reader in the wonder and challenges of discovery, of science, of doing the research and figuring out something new in the world. So I think it engaged with so many different layered aspects of these topics, of corporatism, of AI, of exploitation, and of how much we care about other human and inhuman intelligences in this world, and the varieties of ways that people in the world might engage with that. So I love this. I heartily recommend it to all types of readers, unless you really want a high action plot. That's about the only thing this doesn't deliver for me. It's a debut and a very exciting one. This author is a really prolific short fiction writer as well, so I'm very excited to get into some short fiction backlog, and I'm so looking forward to anything that Ray Nayler comes out with next. So that is it for The Mountain and the Sea today. Thank you so much for watching.